You East Bay fans have been something else, man. I tell you, the noise has not stopped. But is this really about John Fisher? Be honest. Today on Locked On A's.
You are Locked On A's, your daily podcast on the Athletics, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On A's, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. I am your host, Booney. One name, all passion. Thank you for making Locked On A's your first listen of the day. I'm from the Bay Area, and I've been a diehard A's fan since 1981. This isn't just another A's podcast. This is the most informative and insightful show on the A's, period. We cover the A's every single day, breaking down games, delivering the latest team news, and giving you deep, thoughtful analysis you will not find anywhere else. If it's happening in Sacramento or in Las Vegas, we've got you covered. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. And please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button wherever you are following the show. In the world of sports where fans are as passionate as they are loyal, the recent uproar surrounding the Oakland A's departure has been nothing short of a dramatic soap opera. But let's be clear about one thing. The villain in this narrative isn't the city of Oakland. No, the true antagonist here is none other than the billionaire owner of the A's and the disdain for him. It's just not about baseball. It's about societal class. Social class. The ever elusive concept that's as hard to pin down as a greased pig at a county fair. Anthropologists, historians, and sociologists have all taken a crack at defining it, only to find that it varies as much as the toppings on a hot dog at a baseball game. Is it wealth? Is it power? Well, the jury's still out, but let's not get caught up in the semantics of it all. The heart of the matter is that social class, in its many disguises, has always been a divider of people. It's like a VIP section at a concert. Everyone knows it's there, but not everyone gets access. And when it comes to our billionaire friend, his class status is as glaring as a neon sign at a dive bar. Historically, class has been about more than just money. Sure, having a Scrooge McDuck-style vault filled with gold coins helps. But class also encompasses things like education, occupation, and even that elusive thing called cultural refinement. But in reality, it's all about who holds the power. And power, dear viewers or listeners, is something our billionaire owner has in spades. In today's society, economic power often trumps physical power. Gone are the days when brute strength ruled the roost. Now it's all about who owns what and how much they are worth. Our owner's wealth gives him a seat at the table of the elite, a table that's more exclusive than the last slice of pizza at a frat party. But here's where things get interesting. While many Americans like to think of their society as neatly divided into three classes, the rich, the middle class, and the poor, the reality is far messier. It's like trying to organize your sock drawer after laundry day. There are just too many variables. In America, wealth disparities are growing faster than a teenage boy's appetite. And class distinctions are becoming blurrier than after one too many beers. This brings us back to Oakland and our beleaguered billionaire. The animosity directed at him is less about the logistics of moving a baseball team and more about what he represents. a widening gap between those who have and those who have not. It's not just that he's rich, it's that his wealth puts him in a different stratosphere altogether. One where decisions that affect entire communities can be made with a flick of a pen or a swipe on an iPad. In essence, the hatred isn't personal, it's systematic. It's about a society where class lines are as fluid as they are invisible, yet somehow manage to keep people firmly in their place. Our billionaire owner is simply the face of a much larger issue, a poster child for the class struggles that have plagued society since time began, whenever that may be. So, next time you hear someone railing against the A's owner, remember it's not just about baseball or even Oakland. It's about class warfare in its most modern form. A battle fought not with swords or shields, but with checkbooks and corporate takeovers. And while we might not have all the answers, one thing is certain. In this game of class distinction, only one side can win. And it often isn't the one with the most heart. But let's be real here. This hasn't been about the city of Oakland. It never has. A very small percentage of fans that attended games at the Coliseum actually lived in Oakland. And actually, the citizens of Oakland never wanted a new ballpark. They were more concerned about crime, rent, paying for groceries. Jeez, get your priorities straight, people. All the yelling are from cities like Dublin, San Ramon, Pleasanton, etc. You get the picture. That claim Oakland, even though they don't live in Oakland. Some of them do, of course, but a very high percentage have never stepped foot in Oakland unless they were at the Coliseum. Most of you don't even know what 289 Skinner is and have zero interest in educating yourself on it. You truly don't care why the A's left and who was at fault for it. This was the furthest thing about Oakland. And this was not about John Fisher. This was about what John Fisher has. To continue to prove my point that this was never about Oakland, and the former A's fans and East Bay residents had an opportunity to truly make a difference. I'm going to take you back to last summer, July 11th, 2024, to be exact. Up next. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trade, Supply House. Whether you are in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. The hypocrisy of the East Bay A's fan base. Is it truly about Oakland or just a vendetta against Johnfisher? In this tumultuous world of sports where allegiance is often dictated by geography and history, the narrative surrounding the A's departure has taken a bewildering turn. The finger pointing and blame game have reached fever pitch, with billionaire owner John Fisher bearing the brunt of the fire from fans who claim to be fighting for Oakland. But is this really about the city or just another convenient excuse to vilify Fisher? Well, let's dissect this situation. On July 11th, 2024, Susan Slusser's article in the San Francisco Chronicle paints a damning picture of the Oakland Ballers, an independent baseball team trying to carve out a niche in the Bay Area sports landscape. The allegations of unsafe conditions and mismanagement are serious, and they deserve scrutiny, but are they accurate? The deafening silence from Oakland's so-called passionate fan base was telling. The article was an absolute hit piece on the Ballers and had a lot of holes in it that were not necessarily true. When Slusser's hit piece dropped, not a single voice rose to defend the Ballers. Last dive bar? All the rest of your buddies tweeting, yelling, nothing. Silence. This was your friend she attacked. You didn't say anything. You didn't have anything to say. Silent. Not one fan rallied to their support. Yet, when Fisher's name is mentioned, these same individuals scream bloody murder. It's a glaring hypocrisy that begs the question, are these fans truly advocating for Oakland, or are they simply using Fisher as a scapegoat for their own frustrations? The article Slusser wrote outlined a series of alleged missteps by the Ballers organizations, including inadequate housing and questionable medical practices. Agent Lonnie Murray, who represented 3 of the players on the team, made serious accusation, and they demanded attention. Were the accusations justified or just a ploy in order to get the players dealt? Well, it turned out to be the latter. But where's the outrage from the Oakland's loyal supporters? Where are the protests and the demands for accountability? It seems they only reserve their fury for Fisher while turning a blind eye to issues within their own backyard, their own friends. Murray claims about player safety and substandard housing paint a picture of an organization struggling with growing pains. Yet the Ballers' response highlights their efforts to address these concerns swiftly. They moved players to safer accommodations, coordinated with law enforcement for added security, and committed to improving their process. But none of this seems to matter to a fan base more interested in vilifying Fisher than supporting local teams. The Ballers' transparency in their operations starkly contrasts with the dealings often associated with major league franchises. It was nothing different with the Ballers. Yet, an article went absolutely after them, and not one bit of support for them. The Ballers did admit some missteps, absolutely. Common missteps that any organization has made in the past, and they pledged to learn from them. But rather than rallying around a team trying to build something new in Oakland, fans remain silent, seemingly indifferent to anything not involving John Fisher. The selective outrage from fans is infuriating. If they truly cared about Oakland, they'd be just as vocal about supporting new ventures like the Ballers as they are about criticizing Fisher. The hypocrisy is palpable. Fans claim to be fighting for Oakland, yet their actions suggest otherwise. It's time for these so-called advocates to look in the mirror and ask themselves if they are truly fighting for Oakland or just nursing a vendetta against a billionaire. The narrative of Oakland's fan base is one of selective outrage and misplaced priorities. The silence surrounding the Ballers while vilifying Fisher speaks volumes of their true intentions. If they genuinely cared about revitalizing Oakland's sports scene, they'd support all efforts equally, not just those that provide a convenient target for their anger. It's time for this fan base to reevaluate their priorities and decide if they are truly fighting for Oakland or just perpetuating a cycle of blame against John Fisher. For over 4 decades, I've proudly worn the green and gold of the Oakland Athletics through thick and thin. I have stood by this team, not for the glitz or the glamour, but for the raw, unadulterated love of the game. I have watched them rise, fall, and rise again, fueled by an unwavering spirit that defies conventional sports wisdom. Yet, as I look around today, I am compelled to speak out against a troubling trend that threatens the very soul of what it means to be an A's fan. Let's be clear. I never cared about the owner's bank account or the team's payroll. My allegiance was always to the players on the field, battling it out day after day, win or lose. When whispers of player sell-offs echoed in the mid to late 90s, yes, I was furious, but my anger was tempered by the team's relentless drive to compete. They won in ways that were unconventional, with players who shared a common bond, a beautiful symphony of teamwork that transcended individual stardom. As I have lived through this, no one has cared about the A's until now. No one. It was always the Raiders. It was always the Warriors. Never the A's. Even in 2014, when we boasted the best record in baseball at the break, fans were absent. We should have had a new stadium, sure, but the reasons it wasn't built are complex and multifaceted. Instead of understanding these nuances, some fans grew complacent, feeling entitled to something they never truly supported. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. So let me get this straight, fans, former fans, East Bay residents. So you want a shiny new stadium. Okay. You want the team to win. They did. But that's not enough, is it? You demand they re-sign stars you didn't bother to support when they were on the rise. You want to sign the flashy free agents, even though they may not be as good as the rising stars you do have. Okay, fine. But even then, winning isn't the end game unless it's done your way with your chosen players. Only then might you grace us with your presence. In summary, new stadium, spend lots of money on flashy free agents or re-sign your existing players who you didn't show up for when they were rising stars. And finally, they have to win. Winning isn't enough unless it's done your way with your chosen players. Only then, like I said, might you grace us with your presence. This is not the fan base I recognize or wish to be part of. The narrative of feeling sorry for Oakland is misguided. The people of Oakland have faced challenges far greater than losing a baseball team. The issue extends beyond city limits to encompass the entire East Bay. The actual citizens of Oakland had much more on their plate. Yet, you East Bay residents yell and yell and yell and cuss and four-letter expletives after four-letter expletives. Poor me and poor that. Kick rocks. Let's get one thing straight. When I hear on the news and every pundit out there, poor Oakland fans, poor Oakland fans, poor Oakland fans, that's just false. A majority of the individuals going to those games, as I mentioned earlier, were not living in Oakland. They were from the East Bay. So do I feel sorry for the East Bay? Do I feel sorry for those that neglected their team? Not even a little. To those ready to hurl insults my way, save your breath. I'm open to real dialogue, but if you're intent on spreading falsehoods, find an echo chamber that suits you. I stand firm in my convictions without allegiance to any side other than that of a true fan and other than that of my own integrity. In conclusion, being an A's fan is not about demanding perfection or luxury. It's about loyalty, resilience, and embracing the underdog spirit. It's about cherishing every win and learning from every loss. It's about standing by your team through every trial and triumph. That is the essence of being a true fan, a legacy I am proud to uphold. This has all been about one thing and one thing only: your hatred for a billionaire. That has always been what it is about. It's nothing new. It's absolutely nothing new since the beginning of time. Thank you for making Locked On A's your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts.